We're live again. I can see you, man. In the comments going off already, man. We got the boys in the building. Kagey's in the building. Leeds United in the building. George in the building. Tottenham's in the building. And we got Liverpool in the building, bruv. Mad thing. What you man saying? Nah, we don't have to, but you're here, innit?
This is my guard of honor. You understand?
Oh
no.
2 seconds in.
Already, no, not you, Leeds. Not yet. I'm talking about these two guys. Guard of honor.
Bruv, last time you lot got a guard of honor, I swear you got punched up by Man City. That was the first one, innit? You should have banned them after that.
Nah, listen. We've had more guard of honors than defeats. This is serious stuff we're talking about.
It's true. That is very true, to be fair.
To be fair, the last time we had a guard of honor, my dad wasn't born, so I don't know what the. It's a bit peak. It's a little bit peak.
Nah, boys. So what's going on, Kagey, bruv? Leeds United. How does it feel? Bruv?
It feels right, man. Feels right. Big boys back in the big league, man. You missed us. Admit it. Honestly, I have missed it. I have missed the rivalry, bro. Like any rivalry in football, I welcome in it. Like I welcome it, bro. Regardless of whether I support the team or not, bro. Like Sunderland, Newcastle, massive game, bro. Like I miss it. Do you know what I mean? Games like that, you miss it. Birmingham, Aston Villa, you miss it, bro. Because like that kind of atmosphere, you can't replicate it, innit? So obviously, it's good to have Leeds back for that reason only. Like that fixture is tense, fam. Do you know what I mean? So, yeah, man. No, we had some wicked games back in like the 90s and early 2000s, man. Even though you guys were always on top, we sometimes snuck a victory in there. So it'll be good to have that back, man.
How do you think you'll do next year, like position-wise? Is it a matter of just staying up, or are you gonna actually like go for something?
No, I think we'll go 10th, 11th, and I've said that with my chest on every platform. So I'm easy to find, but I just think that we've got a coach that's better than half of the coaches in that league anyway. And
Facts.
as long as we get the recruitment right, we'll be all right, because we have a system that works. And I got this word system in before Rants, so that's amazing for me.
I love a system, bro. I'm telling you, like, your manager's top notch, bruv. Like that's what I'm saying.
I was just gonna say he's now managing at his level. This is his level in the Premier League. He's a mad dog, but he's a top dog.
I feel like if Leeds didn't get promoted, he would be gone. Someone in the Premier would have to snatch him up 100%.
My only concern about Leeds, they got the passion, they got the football and everything, but very much like, and don't take this the wrong way straight away, but let me give you some context, But just like how Norwich played lovely football in the Championship, when you bring that lovely football into the Premiership, it's a total different world, dog. And that's not only thing, but you got players there you can definitely see flourishing and in the Premier League at a higher level, raising their game. So it's exciting. But if you're going to still try to play that football in the Premier League, you may find it's a different ball game when man's up.
Yeah.
Most of these teams are pressing machines, man.
Yeah, but these teams, that team, Norwich team, they don't press like the way we press. They have spaces in that you could drive a bus through. We press in packs. And
in possession. You guys in possession.
We're possession-based football, but when we come in it back, we go around in packs. Whereas Norwich, they just let everybody just drive through. It was disgusting, their defense this year. We'll be different, but recruitment is on top of that. We've got to get 5 or 6 players in to complement what we've got. But
is the money there? What's your finances like? Yeah. Because I remember Fulham came up and spent 125 million. Are the finances there for Leeds to come up to the Premier League and buy Premier League level players? Not saying that the players you have are not Premier League level, because I'm sure you do have some Premier League level players.
Yeah. We definitely got the cash. We don't need to spend 100 million though. You've got to spend money, but you got to spend it right. Because Fulham spent 100 million, but on what? Like Everton as well. They've spent a whole bunch of money, but on what? It's all about what you're getting. And as long as the recruitment's right, we'll get there. We've already got Jack Harrison back from Man City on loan. He's a winger that's ready for Premier League football. I'm confident of that. Calvin Phillips is already here. Best DM in the league. Can say that now. I don't like that laughy though. But we'll have to, as well as being Leeds, we're already a draw anyway. But add Bielsa there. There's players that want to come play for us right now.
Mm.
You know, we're in a tug of war actually, because I'm hoping you ain't got money, because that Ben White.
Don't say Ben White. No.
That's what I'm saying, bruv. Because we're hunting him, and like we're just hoping like Leeds, like, you know what I mean, because of COVID. I think you're unlucky. I think you would have spent big bucks, but I think because of this pandemic, it's hurt everyone, and you included. I think it's been such unfortunate timing from that aspect, you know, because yes, you have to spend money, but this is going to hurt a little bit in trying to spend it in this pandemic, during this pandemic.
Yeah, it was our luck to wait 16 years to come up and then come up during a pandemic. That's just the Leeds way. So we had to have
same as us, lad. Same as us. Win the league over 30 years, but no stadium, no fans. Sorry,
no fans.
Stadium, man. You know what I mean? But it is what it is.
Yeah, man.
It'll be interesting to see what Leeds do, bruv. George, what you saying about Tottenham, the mighty Spurs? You sacked one of the best managers in your recent history, yeah, to bring in,
if not the best in recent.
I'm saying, like, to bring in Jose, who on paper is your best manager in recent history, but he's not your best manager in recent history.
Yeah.
It's been a bit mad. Like, what is going on at that club? Do you even have money to spend?
This is a roller coaster. I think so. Mourinho's come out and said as well that like he had numerous meetings with Daniel Levy beforehand, and we've got to take a pinch of salt, but like obviously talking about the transfers and things like that. So he knows we've got to spend something. We can't go 2 years without buying a player, buy a couple last summer and then just that be it. Again, we need to buy people, and I'm sure he will.
I'd be shocked if you spend more than 50 million net.
No, the thing is, net probably not, but like we're not going to buy any big names. This isn't going to be like last summer when we were looking at Bruno Fernandes and Dybala on the last day. It ain't going to be that. We're now looking at Højbjergs and trying to get people for like 15, 20 mil, 25 mil, and I'm expecting that. But to be honest with you, everyone's going to be struggling this summer. So Højbjergs, I think that could be a good signing, and then the rest I haven't got a clue, to be honest with you. Try and nab some players from the relegated teams: Max Aarons, Callum Wilson. Grab a few cheap that are actually pretty decent players, just in pretty shit team.
Bayern want Max Aarons, man. I just read Bayern want Max Aarons. He must be, you know, he is good, but I didn't know he was on that level where Bayern are scouting him hard.
No, he looked class. Anytime they played us, he's like 5'5" or something, but he looks so comfortable on the ball and like destroy like made our wingers like look like nothing when we played against them.
To be fair, us four could like probably play right back for Spurs. Because Serge Aurier
yeah, you're not wrong.
No, he's mad, isn't he?
She handed in like my transfer last week so I can get in, try and compete.
He's too funny. I don't know how his brain works at times. But
Serge Aurier is not a
serious
footballer, bro. He's not a serious footballer. That's why I think whoever they bring in there is an upgrade, innit? I think they're at that point.
But this is the problem. We're now going to need like two, because I can't see Aurier staying in the summer, and then we can't just go and have one right back again. Like, say we do get Max Aarons, so I don't know.
Like, did you sell that Carl Walter?
Well, no, but he was on loan. But
so he's going to come back.
But the problem is, I think that's going to be part of the Højbjerg deal, because Levy's not going to. He's going to try and spend as little as possible.
Good point.
They want him. They want him there. They want Cole Capiters permanently. So I can't see him staying, to be honest with you. But that'd probably be the better option, trying to keep him.
But George, you know, you mentioned Max Aarons. Man, you've got Ryan Sessegnon there, and Max Aarons is like Ben Gumfrey with Ryan Sessegnon, where they came up, and it just seemed like it was a season too soon for them. So, do you need that as well on your right hand side as well as your left? Because Ryan Sessegnon don't look like he's getting the game anytime soon either.
No, but I think the Ryan Sessegnon situation is different. I think Ryan Sessegnon was basically like, he was left wing back, more of a left winger at Fulham. When he was playing, and with the Championship, I feel like he had way more freedom to attack the defenders and stuff, which is why obviously he scored like however many goals and looked the nuts. But with Spurs, we're trying to turn him into a left back, and because he's not gonna compete with Son for a place at left wing, or Lucas or Bergwijn or anyone like that. So we're trying to turn him into a left back. And anytime he did play, like when he played against Bayern away, scored on the Champions League debut in the first game, first half looked all right. Second half, just no confidence whatsoever. And any game he's played in, he hasn't attacked any fullbacks. He just plays too safe. It doesn't seem confident, which is why I think he's been like pretty trash every game he's played in. He's just lost the confidence in the Premier League. Whereas I feel like at least Max Aarons, he's had the whole season here, looks really comfortable on the ball. So I'd be surprised if he turns out the same kind of way. So
interesting. Grizz, you man lost out on Timo, or did you lose out on Timo?
We
happened?
Didn't lose out, Timo. We don't lose. Listen, his agent was asking ridiculous monies, and we didn't feel justified in paying that. He wanted a big payday, and Chelsea came in with ridiculous figures. So we're a club that's built on.
Was it just the agents' fees, or was it the fees altogether for the player, etc.?
Altogether.
Wasn't it 50 mil for the transfer, and then and then
what? Slow down. Say that again, please. What did they ask for?
I'm pretty sure it was 50 mil.
50 mil.
What, the agent?
No,
for transfer.
They wanted 50 mil, and what the agent wanted.
The whole package, fees, wages, thing was going to cost us 102 million. And we said, no, that's not happening in this day and age for someone who's not going to walk into our team. Listen, I would have liked it. I'm not going to sit here now and say I didn't want Werner. I was massive on Werner because I think he would have been electric for us, 100%. And good luck to him at Chelsea. But listen, they're gathering players like it's FIFA. So good luck to them. They can try put them in a formation if they want. But you can't mess with that.
This whole building out the youth is just not happening anymore. Now they got the money, but now they can spend the hazard money. It's like, we'll bring in Havertz, Werner, Pulisic, everyone.
All we heard last year was Frank Lampard's going to bring in the youngsters, and we got this. No, mate.
Yeah, that didn't last very long. I think he saw that the youngsters.
Hold on. Like Tammy's lost his place to Giroud now, and now Werner's coming in. Tammy's not going to play, and like Mount keeps losing out to Pulisic every now and again, and then obviously did well the other day, but.
Roman wants toys. He ain't got time for kids. He's got time for toys, but not the kids. You know what I mean? He wants his own toys, and he's bringing in every attacker under the sun. But good luck to them. It's a good signing for them. I'm not going to sit here and be better about it. It's a bad boy signing for them.
The problem is they need a new defense, man. Like a whole new defense, and yet they're buying every major attacker, like every young attacker in Europe.
They literally need a whole new black backline. Their only good defender is old, bro. Aspilicueta is must be approaching 33 or something like that.
Even a keeper, man, 70 mil for Kepa, and he's losing his place to Willie. Like, it's so bad.
Disgusting, man.
It is.
You want to know what's? Sorry, you want to know what's funny about Kepa? I said time ago, man, that Nick Pope was better than Kepa, and people laughed me out the building. You know, just because Nick Pope is at Burnley and Kepa costs 80 million Spanish.
Yeah,
I said from time Nick Pope is levels above Kepa, and now people are listening. It was obvious to see. Just use your eye test, man. Kepa's not reliable.
And to spend that much on a really young goalkeeper, like that's like, to be fair, like De Gea is like an outlier. It's so rare that you get a world-class keeper when he's that young. Like,
De Gea started badly, bro. He started badly, bro. Man, forget that De Gea came in and we had to take him out. Do you know what I mean? Because he was falling apart, bro, flapping at everything. So the De Gea situation was very similar to the Kepa situation, but in a sense. But I just think that Kepa's been worse for longer, innit?
Yeah, and the problem is with Chelsea as well. They want results like now, like instant. So if Kepa's not performing, he's got to be gone.
They've gone through a stage where they're just strolling through because Roman got bored because there was no transfers for him, and he's only in the game for transfers. Right?
And he wasn't allowed to step foot in the country.
Yeah, so he was bored while the ban was on. Now the ban's lifted, you can see him just go mad and wild. So he's gonna bring in loads of players for them, and it's exciting if you're a Chelsea fan. But realistically, as you said, Jude, they need a whole backline, man. Because I don't think none of them man's to be honest with you.
Nah.
I'm here, bro.
Yeah, there you go. He's back.
Yeah, I didn't know Aspie's only 29 still. I didn't know that. I thought he was older than that. But still, he's definitely lost a few yards on what he had. Do you know what I'm saying? So he definitely needs to be replaced, bro. He's currently their best defender. That's worrying for them. But they're building the roof, man, and the foundations of the yard are mash up. So I don't really know what the deal is. I don't know what the deal is with them. So what, Grizz, are you man saying that you actually have money, bro? Because the Timo Werner situation led a lot of people, including me, to believe that the money simply wasn't there unless you needed to sell someone.
Yeah, listen, we get frustrated because our club ain't run by an owner that's got his own personal investment in there in terms of he pulls out the money out of his pocket. We're a business. It doesn't matter how people look at it. We're run by smart, the smartest businessmen currently running sports franchises, and they're going to do it their way. And their way is to be, to do it sensibly, to do it on their terms, how they want to do it. So we can, as Liverpool fans, can cry for Sancho and Mbappe and this and that. We should be getting everyone. We're not gonna go for those kind of players. We're gonna go for, well, we might go for those players, but it's gonna be on our terms, just like Werner. We were ready to go sort of hard lowballing for Werner, but Werner got a bad boy deal from Chelsea. His agent said, "Yeah, man, I'm taking this deal." Werner was off, but we got money. We're just being smart about it. We're not broke. We're not broke scassers anymore. Come on.
Because the 45 million is not a lot of money for a player of Werner's caliber.
We're just smart. We're not going to tell. Why are we going to tell clubs and players that we got money? Yeah, we're playing broke, but watch us pull out a couple of deals.
So who would you bring in then for a striker for 410?
Well, striker, I think we're going to hold fire on that attacker for this window. Yeah, because the players that we want.
Because I'm not being funny, I rate Firmino in that, but to score, the fact that he only scored his first home goal the other day on the last day is a bit.
Yeah, see this arguments people talk. Other clubs fans talk about Firmino without studying Firmino.
But I know with your style of play as well, you're going to be doing the wing play as well. He's basically playing like a.
The thing is, Firmino is not a striker. The first thing that most
like a false nine.
He's not even a false nine. He's an attacking mid. Our strikers are Mane and Salah. If Mane and Salah ain't scoring 20 goals a season, then people need to cuss us because they're our strikers. Which other club has strikers that score 20, 25 goals every season? They're our strikers. You know what I mean? Firmino is our attacking midfielder. It's just people don't understand the system that he's created. Just because he plays through the centre area, people think, he's a striker. He's not.
But attacking midfielder,
he's an attacking midfielder.
You play with two split strikers. Anyone that understands football knows that. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but what I'm trying to get at is I feel like it then becomes very easy for teams to suss out your game plan, and it will be very hard for you to say win the Premier League back to back if everyone knows. All right, then it's Mane and Salah that we can target because Firmino is just. Do you know what I mean? I can't see a different plan than what you've already got.
So many people say this, but people have been saying this for the last 3 years. And we're smashing teams for 3 years. It's not a 1 year thing. People have to remember we got 97 points the season before, one defeat all season. So when people say suss teams out, there's one thing sussing out on paper, but when you get on that pitch, we're nasty to play against, bro. I'm telling you,
that's true.
Teams like Sheffield United that bullied other teams, and their manager talks about how he plays a high energy game, says we're next level. So imagine what it's like to play against us. No, we can't imagine what it's like to play against us. But people say, you know what? It's easy to mark. Blah, blah, blah. It's not, George. It's been proved not to be easy to beat us.
No, of course, but also you got to remember that there's a lot of big teams this year have been far worse than they should be, and I feel like a lot of them. Well, you can see with Chelsea as well, and I'd like to think Spurs would be better next year. But even Man United, looking at how they've been playing, a lot of teams will get a lot better.
Sure, but 40 points. What, they're going to bring 40 points to 10 points, 6 points? No, they're going to bring 40 points.
City
to 20
could.
Points.
Now they haven't got a Champions League ban as well. They're going to keep their major players. They're still going to spend as much because FFP is going to go out the window.
It's not. They're not going to spend wild at all. They're going to watch what they're doing. The moment they try to spend that, it means people are going to come on hard. Trust me, people are going to come hard on them. It's not,
I think they are being a lot smarter though now. Because they're now looking at Valencia's left winger, 20 mil only. So that's not going to be up. But again, like a good future talent. Like I think they've been a bit smarter with it. Still got a banging squad. So
I think City, the fact that they lost like 14, 15 games this season, all competitions, is a serious flaw, man. The people are saying, yes, we're stronger. I don't know. No Sane, no Aguero near enough. Aguero's like, bless him. I think his best days are definitely behind him. So no Silva. Sure. Silva was a bad boy. People underestimated when Company left. They're going to underestimate when Silva leaves as well. But Silva was not only a baller, but he's a leader as well for them.
Yeah, City need reinforcements and up front as well, because Gabriel Jesus isn't it for me. Like they need a better second forward. And Rants said
he's no Aguero.
Harry Kane would be perfect for them.
Hey, listen.
Guy here.
Listen. We're not even entertaining the idea of Kane leaving yet.
He really would be though. If he was to go, because he doesn't feel his ambitions being matched, he would be perfect for Manchester City.
I think next summer's the big one for Kane. I feel like we've got a year of Mourinho trying to win something, aka the Europa League. And if we can't do that next year, then I think that's it. I think players are going to be gone out the window like Kane. I think we've got one more year left of holding them.
But Man City are after Aki too, and he's a Man City type of defender. I think he'll fit in well there too.
I think so too.
I don't see how, because Laporte is a left-sided centre-back, Aki is a left-sided centre-back. I'm not sure if they're buying him to solely play on the left-back. I think he could possibly solve the left-back issues at times as well, because Mendy's another not footballer. You know what I mean? He's a not footballer. You know, he's like, he's just I don't know.
He's just how to describe him. He looks like he's good vibes.
Yeah, I do feel like I feel like he's being carried a bit by the team though, because if you're just looking at him individually, he seems just very average. Like he seems very similar to other left backs in the league. Yeah, like, he doesn't stand out for me. Do you know what I mean? Like I think he has been carried by the City team.
Leon that gone to Madrid. That was the real Mendy they were supposed to buy a left back. He's the real deal. These man's bought a blag.
Yeah, he's not good in it.
They looked at the Monaco hype train of all the players that they had, and it was like, all right, we'll take that one.
Yeah. That's what it was. That Monaco team was a joke, innit? Like that literally. Was ridiculous. But then out of all of them, he's probably won the most. It don't matter, like, you know what I mean? And this is what it is. You got like Bakayoko went and flopped. Do you know what I mean? Like they had a serious.
Fabinho's won two trophies.
Yeah, he's won a few trophies. Still. He's won a few. You know,
saying that Bernardo Silva as well, just as many as.
Yeah, Bernardo's won just as much. Do you know what I mean? They raided that team that season. So, but I don't know. Mendy's. He's a madman, innit? He just reminds me of Aurier, blood. Just like on the other side.
Yeah.
Oh god, could you imagine them both in one team?
Bro, headless defender. Do you know what I mean? And Pep doesn't normally get things that wrong, innit? With a player like Mendy, you would have thought, injuries aside, even when he does play, he doesn't look good, innit? He doesn't look good. There was a lot of talk of him being the best left back in the league or one of them when they bought him. He hasn't even lived up to anywhere near than that. And even when you look at Cancelo as well, like you can't get near Kyle Walker, bruv, at the moment.
I can't believe they spent 50 mil on a backup right back. Like that still blows my mind. And yet the band didn't update.
They can do it though, innit? They can do that.
That's what I mean.
They've been doing that forever.
The financial fair play is just a myth. How can they spend 150 million on 3 fullbacks in like one summer? How is that allowed?
Man City, innit? And the thing is, nobody. It's funny. Nothing City does, no one remembers, because City, no one cares, innit? Like I've said it a million times online. I don't get much backlash because they got no fans, bro. Like literally, no matter what City do, no one cares. City have had probably the best striker in modern Premier League history, and no one cares.
So,
you know what I mean?
They couldn't even fill out a Zoom call on the screen.
Forget that, listen, guys. Rants, you know Boovy, the City fan. He was trying to tell me, he was doing something in 90 minutes. He was trying to tell me how dead our celebration was. Our celebration had more emotion, more passion than your celebration with crowds. So you can't even talk to me, bro. Trust me, we made it look all right. Have you seen their celebrations? I said, no passion, no fans. You can't be telling us that, about the atmosphere, because what atmosphere? And I mean, so, City, I think City, I think a lot of people think City will come again and come strong. I think they've got more problems than people realize, That's just my personal opinion. This is not, I'm not doing this for bait. I'm being serious. I think they've got certain issues in that team that ain't been resolved. And if he's going to, I don't think he can just resolve them just like that in the transfer market, because I don't think they can go mad in the transfer market. Because
I think that man will be looking at them. They can't do a madness, and also the way they're run at the moment is still not sustainable. It's not sustainable. Like Roman Abramovich came in
to see the youth that they
exactly. Like Roman Abramovich said, in 10 years, I want Chelsea to be sustainable, innit? And to be fair, they've been pretty much sustainable. He hasn't been spending the way he spent when he first came in. You know what I'm saying? And he's spending now, but he's still got Hazard money. And I think they got money from another player as well. And on top of that, you look at Chelsea's youth team, they've been winning cups. So at least you can see that there's something going on with the Chelsea setup, and they're bringing players through.
They got 3 or 4 of them in the first team.
Foden, bruv. And that's it. And he's a top player, but he's the only one. He's the only one.
Garcia as well, but he's not not English.
This youth's name's Garcia, blood. He don't count, innit? Like it's not Loftus-Cheek, bruv. It's not flipping Tammy Abraham. It's not Reece James. It's not Mason Mount. It's not Gilmore, blood. It's Garcia, fam. You know them was like, come
And
on.
apparently Barca won him anyway. And if Barca won him, he's gone. That's his country. That's where he wants to be.
But this is it. So man can't give man like credit for signing youths that were good in their country and bringing them over. That doesn't count, blood.
What happened to Zinchenko? Did he get seriously injured? Because I haven't seen anything from him for months.
He's putting out stinkers. I think he put out a mad howler one of the last games he played still, and people were on his neck. Yeah. Zinchenko, bro.
I don't think he recovered from the time we smashed him at Anfield when he was playing left back against us. Yeah, he hasn't recovered since, man. When you let man like Salah score headers, you know what I mean?
Oh God.
Yeah,
man. So he was done from there. But you say, Rants, you were saying Pep don't get it badly wrong with players, but with fullbacks.
No, he does, but with certain players,
yeah,
he doesn't. But like he generally, you know what it is with Pep, because he spends so much money, people forget how many times he gets it wrong, bro. Like honestly, like, and that's what I said. And when I was having this conversation on one of our last shows, and I said why Klopp's time at Liverpool has been more successful than Pep's, it was for that exact reason, bro. Like Klopp is not afforded, the same opportunities to get it wrong X amount of times, bro. Like when you look at how many times, that this guy has bought players, got it wrong, and continue to get it wrong and continue to replace them from the beginning when he came in. Do you know what I mean? The first thing he did was get rid of Joe Hart, and then within 6 months he had to get rid of the next keeper because he was crap as well. Do you know what I'm saying? And he'd been doing it. He bought 3 fullbacks. He just bought Cancelo. That bread don't play, fam. And he costs big money. Does not play. Any other club, if they spend 50 million on a player, man are asking them why they're not playing. But see, he can do that. I remember when the Grado came, Nolito, all these men, they're not here now. Now, all these men that came in, they're not here now, bro. Most of them last 1 season maximum and they're gone. Do you know what I mean? So if we look at the amount of signings that he's made that has actually done well and hasn't done well, it's probably 50-50, bro. Probably 50-50. Man that don't last with him, but he's got the money.
Otamendi?
He did. And Otamendi's on his way out now as well, He bought also Mangala, who's on his way out. Like, I think he bought Mangala.
Mangala as well.
Bro, Mangala was 36
He got John Stones
million.
as well, didn't he?
Yeah, he bought John Stones. He's on his way
50
out.
mil.
He's on his way out. Yeah. We're talking, and you know all these players you're mentioning.
I heard Chelsea for him as well.
They're not 5-10 million. They're all 50 million.
They're all
50 mil.
Yeah, man saying bravo. Yeah, that's the goalkeeper. Danilo as well, another one. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah, that was the one.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying, bro. That's what I'm saying. He bought all these players, bro. Do you know what I mean? And we'll overlook the fact that they flopped. Danilo cost, 35 million. And, boy, I don't think he started 10 games.
I feel like the requirement has to be Spanish and 50 mil for you to become a City player.
Yeah. in all fairness to Man City, though, they'll always get charged more because clubs know they got it. So they know that they're going to have to pay that Man City tax. So they're always going to pay over the odds for players. Yeah,
they're saying Pellegrini signed Otamendi.
Oh, okay.
You know them, so he inherited them, but he was still playing him.
Yeah, but I was just going to say he has turfed them, so he must rate him.
Yeah, they played enough games, and that's the thing. Like,
but wasn't he only playing Otamendi anyway because of injuries, because of Company's injury, and that's why he brought in Laporte during the January window. And it was going to be the whole point is they're going to be Laporte and Stones, but then they all had like injuries and stuff.
From the moment they didn't replace Company, I knew that was an arrogant move, and I knew it's going to hurt them because they underestimated how much they're going to miss Company. Because for me, Company when he was fully at his peak and playing is one of the best. It's difficult to rank him because of his injuries and etc. But when he was on his game, Company was one of the best centre-backs around. And I'm saying it from a Liverpool point of view.
And I think we're just going down to pure leadership as well. Like him in the City side. Like even when he was on his last leg, so to speak, at City, still bangs it top.
He was the leader.
Still leads it. Still basically got the winning goals for all their cups and for the leagues and stuff. Like the guy led the whole squad. And I feel like
if anyone knows about leadership, the Liverpool fan does, because their player keeps on cleaning up all the awards for being best leader.
Best leader in football history, bruv. Like he's getting all these leadership trophies, bruv, and all these accolades. What is that about?
I ain't got a problem with it. Bring it.
All this shows, yeah, is a modern day great manager, bro. Do you know what I mean? Because he's polishing turds in it. Like honestly, yeah. Jordan Henderson, bro. Like that is like, bruv, he's so average, and that's testament to Jurgen Klopp's system, yeah, and his football, bro. That man are getting awards, yeah, for just shouting at people and putting arms around shoulders, bruv. Because that's what Henderson does.
And getting subbed off at the 70, 80-minute mark like he's 36 years old.
Bro,
but
it's mad. Like I've seen the influence that James Milner has at the club, even from the bench when he's not playing. He's
all
an
I'm gonna
influential
say. All I'm gonna say about Henderson. Listen, all I'm gonna say about Henderson, yeah, is I guarantee you, yeah. I'm the first one to say he's not your everyday FIFA baller, right? Because you can't do a step over the world. But I guarantee you, every single one of your managers would like to have a Jordan Henderson in their team. Every single one of you could do with a Jordan Henderson on and off the pitch. So it don't matter what you guys say.
Off the pitch, your maybe coaches, yeah.
Your managers would, every single one of them would like a Jordan Henderson's team. And that's fair play to him. Look, he knows his limits. He doesn't go about trying to do step overs and fall over. He knows his game. He knows he's a circulator of the ball. He keeps it simple because he's a simple player. I'm not going to sit here and say he's Bruno and he's got the skills of Pogba. He's a functional and he knows what he's doing. But what he's got is and people underestimate his footballing brain, because to play in a Jurgen Klopp midfield, the different positions he plays, because you got to remember, he started off as a right winger at Sunderland, came to us as a right winger. Then he played as an 8 in the 13-14 season where we nearly won it, blah, blah, blah. Now, then he turned into a number 6. So for any footballer to play at the elite level in 3-4 positions shows he's got some certain qualities as a football brain. He hasn't got the technique. We know that. I'm not going to sit here and say he's technically brilliant. We know he's got flaws. But I tell you, every single one of your coaches would say, yeah, man, Jordan Henderson in my squad.
But the thing is, like, do you think that's enough for Player of the Year, though? Like,
no,
do you think that's enough for Player of the Year, though? Because I think that's a scam. I think Mane, even if anything, if you're choosing a Liverpool player over him for sure.
Mane has been the best player along with KDB, no doubt.
Yeah, it's between him and KDB. Well, I would say.
If Kevin De Bruyne won it, and I've said it as a Liverpool fan, if Kevin De Bruyne won it, I would have no issues. I want to be sitting there. How did Kevin? Because the guy's been magical, no problem, fair enough. But Mane has been inspirational in certain games, man. He's a one-man. He's a machine, man. He's like. His desire and passion on top of skill and pace and everything. You don't get forwards that work hard as Mane. I'm trying to think of your clubs that strikers, like Son, for example. Son's a hard-working player, but he's like that, but twice the player. He's, Mane is probably, if I was voting, Player of the Year, but I didn't vote.
So Jordan Henderson, you describe Jordan Henderson as Mark Noble, but with better players.
No, you say
I think Mark Noble's probably got more in his locker.
Yeah, I think Mark Noble's
probably got more in his locker.
He's got penalties in the bag.
Mark Noble's a decent player, to be honest with you. Actually, I think Mark Noble's all right. I'd say Jordan Henderson is. Do you remember the old Mauro Silva, right, from Brazil? And Dunga, yeah, man. I'm telling you, man, just sits there, passes sideways, and he's doing the job. But
I thought that was Joe Allen, mate. I thought that was Joe Allen.
Joe Allen was good. I tell you what, if Klopp got hold of Joe Allen, you mans would be like saying different things about Joe Allen too, because that's what Klopp does to people, bro.
Listen, Klopp is a sorcerer. I said it already. Do you know what I mean? The fact that Jordan Henderson's even in this conversation, shows you that Klopp's doing something extremely well in it, because he has no business there. No business in the conversation. Do you know what I mean? And the thing is, we saw Danny Drinkwater win a Premier League, but he had N'Golo Kante next to him. You know them ones like. When Jordan Henderson, when you think of a midfield of Jordan Henderson, Gini Wijnaldum, and not even always Fabinho, because Fabinho wasn't playing. Bruv, listen, that thing's the sum of their parts is definitely, they're well outperforming like what they should be doing. That's down to the manager. Like no one can deny that, innit? But the Player of the Year thing, Mane is definitely the best player in your team. And then
which the other one that's still to be decided? Is it the Players' Player of the Year, isn't it?
Yeah, the PFA is the next one.
PFA.
This was the Football Writers one that he won.
Yeah, you would hope not, bro. But even Trent Alexander, bro, like
I would have said even him ahead of Hendo.
Ahead of him, Salah's ahead of him. Do you know what I'm saying? And it's like, Mane's definitely ahead of him. So
people
he barely makes
Virgil as well. Virgil's been impeccable.
Exactly. Well, there you go. Another one.
Like, you know what I mean? We're people because
He's
he's
barely
so
top
good.
five
People
in your
overlook
team.
him.
He's barely top five in
Yeah.
your team for that.
No,
for
that's
that
a
Not
fair
even
comment.
top 5.
That's a fair comment. I totally understand other fans saying that about him because a lot of Liverpool fans say that about him. But we can't. I can't. You can't justify. I can't sit here cussing the man when he's been through what he has, being swapped on the verge of being swapped for Clint Dempsey. All right. He was about to be, but he said, "No, I'm going to stick it out, fight it out." And listen, you never know, man. What's his name? Dyer. Eric Dyer might be, your Jordan Henderson in a few years' time. You know what I mean? You never know, man.
The thing, Eric Dyer's better than
Eric Dyer's more like John Terry now. He's becoming a centre back. It's a bit of madness, yeah.
But you know the writers categories that they put Jordan Henderson first. They were having to give excuses, right? And they were saying it's because of the work he did after pitch with the football players together. But surely Rashford overturning the whole government is
Rashford, Sterling. There would have been there's so many people that have done.
Rashford came
but it's not. My brother, it's not only that, is it? It's the charity work plus being captain of the national team that won X amount, Champions League, Premier League, World Club Cup, Super Cup. So it's a bit more than charity work. You get me?
Well, what about when Scott Parker when he got relegated?
I don't remember that. Sorry.
Yeah.
But the point being is, if the players look, I think the player one will be different. Yeah, I think that is definitely out of.
Yeah, Henderson ain't winning that.
I think it'll be De Bruyne. I think De Bruyne is going to take that one for sure.
It has to be De Bruyne, man. Do you know what I mean? It
And
has to be De Bruyne.
And as a Liverpool fan, I would have no qualms with that. And people say, "What? How? It's true, guys. Guys are genius, man. In terms of his passing range, his weight of pass is on a par with anyone, in my opinion. His weight.
He
of
was
pass is
taking the piss with that goal the other day. The fact I feel like when it was just bored, was like, let me do a couple step overs, step in, shoot, bang, top bins, and didn't even celebrate it. It was like, yeah, light work. Just pulls anything when he wants.
You're looking at an elite level footballer, isn't it?
Probably one of the best midfielders ever in the Premier, in my opinion.
He's up there. He's up there.
He's up there. The thing is, what I would say, George, against that, right, is, well, he hasn't. See, the thing is, right, that's how I'm going to say it, because I'm going to bring it back to Steven Gerrard, right? He was playing in a poor team. Yeah. I'm telling you, we had, you're talking about Jordan Henderson dealing with Adams, bro. We were talking Christian Paulsons and the man Jovanovich's, right? You probably ain't even heard of these man. That's how rubbish these were, right? So you got to remember, Steven Gerrard won games single-handedly on his own, even when they were up against it. KDB is in a Man City team that's cost £500 million. He's got ballers all around him. Why hasn't he dug them out when it counts? When they've lost, when they've gone behind games, why hasn't he turned around certain games? So I don't think he comes into the category of the best midfielders ever the Premier League's ever seen, but he's doing nicely.
But to be fair, I get that point, but the thing is, with the only other thing just to kind of counter that as well is, does that mean Messi can never be considered the best player ever just because he was in a Barca team that's always been top class? That's my point. It's the opposite of my point. He hasn't. Messi hasn't been in a brilliant team all the time, but yet he turns games around on his own single-handedly. This Barcelona team is trash apart from Messi. I'm telling you.
He is a massive reason why the team's still relevant now. Do you know what I'm saying?
The only reason it's relevant is because of
they're in a big decline. They've been in a big decline for a while, and he's managed to prop them up. And the thing is with De Bruyne, it's a mad one. Also, when people talk about him as a central midfielder, one, he doesn't play central midfield for Manchester City, and two, he spends a lot of his time ahead of the ball. Do you know what I mean? So you can't,
wing back,
So you can't compare him. You can't compare him to a Patrick Vieira. You can't compare him to Gerrard because he doesn't really carry the ball for City like that. He's not the ball carrying midfielder. He's the guy that receives the ball in space and he can attack space, and he's very, very clinical. He's one of the most efficient midfielders that I've seen in the Premier League, bro. He's like a machine, innit? It's like every other pass has just got some stardust on it, bro. Do you know what I mean? He's consistently been churning it out. And to be fair, he's at the age now, he's in his prime. What he's doing now, he's meant to be doing. Do you know what I'm saying? He's going towards the end of his 20s. this is when he should be putting up the big numbers, isn't it? But he's in a very, very well-oiled machine in a team that very much fits him.
On Steven Gerrard, though, I know what you're saying about Gerrard, though, because some of those teams that he was in,
trash,
disgraceful, man.
Trash.
How he was putting up those numbers with those players around him at those
Milan Baros.
Years. Yeah.
And he was playing right mid as well. Like sometimes he was playing right wing, bro.
Everywhere he had to
right
play
back,
everywhere
right back.
Team.
Yeah,
he
was
marked
everywhere.
Silvino in the cup final when he had cramp. He was marking AC Milan, and he was, in the first half he was up against Kaká. This guy done everything for us, man. So you know what I mean. To compare him to bring it back to Kevin De Bruyne, to say on the back of 2-3 seasons, no man, these other man's done it for years and years and years, man. I wouldn't say he's. I'd say he's definitely in the top 10, but top 5, no.
He's a wavy baller. You know the ones. Someone just put this stat in. Man said 300 crosses, 20 assists overrated. These guys, bro, they love their numbers. They're killing me. Nah,
you know what? But that's because of Jesus is finishing.
Yeah. Oh God. Yeah.
I'm telling you, he would have got more assists if that Jesus could finish.
Fully fit Aguero all season.
Oh, bro, that would be unbelievable. Do you know what I mean? But
you know what? I think Aguero's underrated. You know, I don't think this league has appreciated what Aguero's done in it.
They haven't, because he plays for Man City, bro. This is what I said. Same with David Silva. Because they play Tim Pot club, there's nothing that these men could ever do that would be respected, bro. No one cares about Man City. Like, no one. Do you know what I'm saying? And that's the honest truth of it. When you look at that, like, he's probably one of the Premier League greats, Sergio Aguero, who probably never get noticed as one.
Recognition, you're right.
Same with David Silva. David Silva 100% does one of the greats, but
nobody cares, bruv. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, if he played for Liverpool, if he played for Arsenal, if he played for Man United, do you know what I mean? Like, people will care. No one cares what these men have done in England, bro. And for foreigners to come and impact the league the way they have, bro. Like, guys like Jimmy Floyd Hasselbank and that, like get more love than flipping Sergio Aguero, blood. Like, it's mad. Like, man don't rate Aguero the way they should. And literally
talking about Premier League greats, So James Milner, my brother, would you take it? There's rumours about Leeds wanting him back, or possibly. I can't see that happening. Your manager wants young, energetic players. He wouldn't fit the profile, would he? Or would he be used as experience and whatnot? Because he wants to go back. That
would be a great signing.
James, surely not now, Rants. Surely not now.
Yeah,
bro, just to have him around them lads would be
yeah.
To be fair, to have the experience in the Premier League as well, something they might need.
More than experience, man. He's won titles in 2 different clubs.
Forgive my naivety and ignorance. Who's the most senior player in your team right now? And sort of like, the experience. Every team has that.
It would be Pablo Hernandez. And he's got to reduce his role next season just naturally. So we've got to replace him for a start. But we've been linked with Tottenham's 1 Foyth, and I don't want to see him anywhere near our team. Every time I've seen
I don't think you would want him either.
No. His positional sense is just not there either, man. I don't want Foyth anyway. But obviously, we're getting linked to every Argentinian from here to everywhere because of Bielsa. So
that is literally Spurs. Spurs with Pochettino was just is he Argentinian? All right, he's coming to Spurs. It's quite literally what the transfer policy was. So I think it's going to be the same for you lot as well.
I'm sure that's how you bought Eric Lamela, because there's no other reason.
Oh, Eric Lamela. I mean, to be fair, even Lo Celso, I think, was because he's Argentinian. I mean, I love him anyway, but I think that was. I think we went for Lo Celso over Fernandez. I think purely because of the fact he was Argentinian. But either way, he's still a baller, so it don't matter. But do you know what I mean? Like, I feel like that played a massive part into it. To be honest.
Hey, as there's a different Tottenham fan on, I want you to answer this question, because no other Tottenham fan can answer this question for me. All right. What does Harry Winks do?
Harry Winks, to be honest with you, I think it's just that's what I was going to bring up earlier, but I think it's just obviously not to that level. But I think the same thing what we were saying about Henderson earlier. He's not going to be someone who's going to get assists. He's not going to be someone who gets the goals, but he's quite literally just been that solid central midfielder who's quite literally his job is to kind of be like the little, well, for Winks' case, a little bulldog, just like a little workhorse to carry the ball from defence to the
Who's
attacking
Leeds?
midfielders.
Who's Leeds' Hendo or Harry Winks or McTominay?
Who is ours?
Yeah, who's yours?
Calvin Phillips.
Who's yours?
Who's our what? Who's our what?
Like
Sorry.
water carrier, like underrated, not underrated, but so underappreciated maybe.
Yeah, unsung hero in the
who's your man? Who's your man that does the dirty work and goes unnoticed?
I would say Mateusz Klich, Polish international. He's probably that guy.
I'm just asking you, so make sure. I'm just asking you, so I'll make sure I'll pick in my FPL. Okay.
When you want that cheap 4.5 mil midfielder, you know what I mean? You're like, yeah. Let me just look at.
Still not him. Okay.
Nah, but the Harry Winks thing, brother, I'm a fan of his. I think he's good.
I
tell you what, with Spurs fans, it is 50-50, like massively 50-50. Massively 50-50. A lot of fans hate him because they think all he does is pass left and right. And to be honest with you, but the thing is, like, I don't understand when your game plan, especially with Spurs now, is to quite literally defend well and hold the ball. You need that. You need someone that's going to do that. And not every ball's going to be a De Bruyne 50-yard ping forward to the striker. Do you know what I mean? Like, that's not his job. So I think he does his job perfectly. But then, yeah, like I said, it's 50-50 amongst fans with him.
That's surprising.
That is very surprising.
I rate him, man. Yeah, he's
in fact, he's only 23 as well. Like, it's just
he's good in possession, and he keeps the game ticking over, bro. Like, that's what you need, bro. Do you know what I mean? That's what you need in midfield.
We hadn't lost a single game that he played since the restart. The one game we lost against Sheffield was without him in midfield. So,
and he's got a little bite, He's got a little bite in him as well. You can tackle.
Because the thing is,
Mark Noble earlier, he's very similar.
Yeah, because he's similar in that sense. Because as well, he literally is a Spurs boy from when he was like proper, like always been growing up a Spurs boy. So anytime he gets to play in like a North London derby, Chelsea game, West Ham or whatever, he's proper. He's proper fighting in that game. Proper fighting in that game. So yeah, I like him personally, but I do think he needs little improvements, like just to look up a bit more. But I think he's got mad potential.
Yeah, but that's what I mean. He's a good player, innit? Like, and that's the thing. The thing is with especially the English game as well. They love their action Jackson ballers, bruv. Do you know what I'm saying? All action, bruv. You know what I mean? British bulldog, bruv, tearing up and down the pitch, kicking people. And you get a player that just puts their foot on the ball and just keeps it simple, bro. Like, it's worth a lot, bro. A lot of the fans don't get. Like, it takes the fans a long time to see what they offer.
I'm surprised the brother's so anti these water carriers, man. You had one of the best in Premier League history. Not one of the best, but proper one up there with David Batty, man. David Batty was David Batty.
No, David Batty was a hard tackler too. Like, he wasn't pulling out of any 50-50 tackles. You know what, David Batty, and he was good for a couple of goals here and there too. So he is way more rounded than Harry Winks is right now. Anyway. David Batty was much better than what people give him credit for because he was a good passer too.
No. Yeah. No, I'm not comparing levels. David Batty was an underrated baller, very much so. But what I'm trying to say is, like, Harry Winks, has a lot of tenacity, man. I don't know if George sees him much more than me, but every time I see him, he's got a bit of, he's tenacious, man. He's not one of those lightweights. You think, he's small, whatever, but he puts tackles in, man.
No, and the thing is, like, the comments in the chat's right, to be fair. Like, it is about consistency with him. There has, like, especially, well, I mean, to be fair, the whole team was trash.
I was just going to say, you can't be consistent with Jose, man.
Yeah. Well, not even, it was before that. It was Pochettino era. Everyone was, if anything, we're getting more consistent now since the break. So
consistently boring, fam.
I don't care. If we win a trophy, I do not care. We're going to miss half of it anyway. I'm not going to be in the stands. If I'm watching from home, as long as we win the trophy, I do not care.
I've said it. That's why Levy got Mourinho, just to win.
100%. 100%. He's going to be here for 3 years maximum, and that's it, to win a trophy.
He's not here to redevelop your
No. Yeah, exactly. We've done the 6 years building with Mourinho, with Pochettino. We've done all that. And the only way we were going to keep these players is if we win a trophy. So I think the Mourinho is the man for that. And then you get the next rebuilder once that's done. Like, after next year.
Eddie Howe.
Oh,
Nagelsmann.
I'm telling you, he's got Levy written all over him. Eddie Howe. I'm telling you, put money on it now. I'm telling you.
He's actually a good coach, man. But the problem is, yeah, with football comes in cycles, innit? After the first cycle with Bournemouth, once they didn't give him any money, he should have left. You know, that's what he should have done, innit? Like,
well, he was supposed to come in straight after Pochettino, and I was like, he was linked, and I was just a bit like, okay, he's good for another project manager, but we can't have that right now.
Yeah,
like, we can't have another 6-year rebuild.
Talks of him going to Arsenal before. What's his name? That good evening, brother.
Emery.
Yeah, like, do you know what I'm saying? So it was one of them ones where, like, honestly, like, I think he's a good coach. And again, yeah, we talk about it with English players as well, just like with Harry Winks. If you're English coach, yeah, bruv, you don't get respect here. You know them ones, because it's a mad thing. When I'm seeing all these mediocre foreign managers come in and getting sacked and that, and you look at someone like a Wilder, yeah, bro, like, imagine what a coach like that could do with some decent players, fam. Do you know what I mean? Imagine what a coach like that could do with decent players, because what he had Sheffield United doing, he has no business being anywhere near there. Do you know what I'm saying? And the same can go for, bruv, the football Bournemouth were playing when they came up with Jordan Ives and that. It's not like these guys had like the creme de la creme, bro. They were getting the cast-offs from everyone. Do you know what I mean? And they were a team. You didn't really want to go to Bournemouth away at one point, because you're like, yo, we got a game on our hands. You know what I mean? And that's testament to them.
Our draw against them recently as well. They look like prime Barca. They look like prime Barca against us. So I was shocked that they came out that attacking. Very shocked.
But that's what I'm saying. Pep's saying they're the best footballing team in the Prem. You know, Pep loves to big up an underdog anyway. Do you know what I'm saying? But it's one of them. The football they were playing was ridiculous, bro. Do you know what I mean? And people say that Eddie Howe has fallen off and this, that, and the other. But, bro, football, you have to keep it fresh, bro. Yeah, win, lose, or draw. You need to keep spending money and keep improving, because everyone around you improves in the Premier League. You can't stand still for a year in the Premier League.
I think they quite literally don't have the facilities for it.
Precisely. They don't have the infrastructure to be a Premier League team. And that's all it is, because as a Premier League team, you need to improve every year. We again and again and again and again. And I think that they hit their ceiling where they couldn't keep investing. And because of that, the managers paid the price, bro. It's that simple.
At the same time, just on Eddie Howe, a few of the players that he's brought in or recently, big names, have said that he's a terrible manager for the bigger names. So he can't handle the bigger egos. So that's a problem if he's going somewhere like Arsenal or Tottenham, because you can't bring Steve Cook and Simon Francis everywhere he goes. He's going to need to handle the bigger egos. And if he has a problem with like a Jermaine Defoe, he's got no chance at those clubs.
I'm never going to say a bad word about Bournemouth. I've got much love for Bournemouth because they paid us 13 million for Ibe, 13 million for Brad Smith, 17 million for Dominic Solanke. Bro,
scandalous.
I've got much love for them, and they're going to be sorely missed. That's all I'm going to say.
No, it's mad. You say that about the egos. You say that about the egos, but at the end of the day, yeah, like different coaches like working in a different way, and that's okay, innit? Do you know what I mean? That's okay, because the problem is now you have to earn the respect of these players, yeah, for them to play for you. Whereas that should be the case.
It's very backwards. I feel it is very backwards now.
You know what I mean? It should be the other way around. It should be that the players respect the manager, do what the manager says, and then cool, if it don't work out, it don't work out. Because we had a similar situation with Louis van Gaal. Yeah, the reason why Van Gaal would rather play the youth players is because they did what they were told. You know what I mean? The reason why, Pep Guardiola benched Aguero for Jesus is because Jesus did what he was told, and Aguero thought, you know what, I don't want to press. I'm Sergio Aguero, and he said, all right, cool, sit on the bench. Do you know what I'm saying? And the difference is, when you're Pep Guardiola, you can bench Sergio Aguero, and your owners aren't going to question you because of what you've done in your past. But if you're Eddie Howe and you come into a team and you bench your star striker because he's not doing what he's told, they'll get rid of you.
Wilson and then Josh King and like.
They'll get rid of you before they get rid of the player, unfortunately, bro. But again, you have to earn the right in football to get patience and get time in it. Like, it's a business, so it comes with that. It depends on personalities. But when you're signing, also, you don't just sign players with ability. You sign personalities as well, innit? And a lot of managers just sign players because they're good. But then you have to think, how are you going to get on with these guys? You know
that's what I mean? But in terms of recruitment, that's where we've been kings as well. We haven't just bought players, off YouTube. And I don't mean that disrespect. Of course. No, but you get what I'm saying, innit? Like, of course, scouts don't just watch YouTube.
So
what I'm
basically,
saying is,
Chelsea.
exactly. But what we've done, the background checks we do into players is so deep, and that's why you will never hear any trouble from our players in media when they're off the pitch. Anything when they're not playing, because man's like Shaqiri used to love a moan, but when he comes to Liverpool, he hasn't said nothing in media. He knows Klopp's told him straight. These are the rules. This is and the amount of research we do in terms of their character, their personality, and Klopp sits down with them, and it's very deep. People try to say, "Oh man, we got lucky with transfers." We bought Mane, Salah, 30 million, Gini, 30 million, all these 25, 30 million players. But there was a lot of research done, a lot of background checks in terms of their personality, as Rants was saying. Because if you get a personality clash with one of your stars, it could be over for you, man. If it's a big boy like, let's say, Pogba, and you're clashing personalities, it could be your job could be on the line, bro. You know what I mean?
That was the whole big argument between like Gerrard and Lampard playing together. The little clash of like them, like just them two, rather than like, even though everyone wanted them to be like the best centre mids in England, them three in Scholes, it just didn't work playing them all together. It just couldn't happen.
I tell you why Gerrard and Lampard didn't work. My personal opinion, Gerrard and Lampard didn't work because Michael Carrick didn't get enough caps. That's just me.
Yeah. Michael Carrick is one of the most underrated players in the Prem in history.
I know certain fans will say Michael Carrick is another sideways passer, but Michael Carrick was a special footballer in my opinion. He was
integral to that Man United team, 100%.
And if he sat in that 6 and then wins us a Champions League, come on, bro,
easy.
Standard.
But the whole thing with that Gerrard and Lampard thing, it's just the typical England international thing of always trying to fit everybody in. Look how Italy won the World Cup one time. They were rotating Tati and Del Piero because they knew they didn't work together. So they just play them alternatively in matches. But England over here, too scared to do anything like that.
I do think the way the Prem is as well made a massive factor in it. I feel like because obviously it was like at the time with like your whole Gerrard and Lampard situation, like that era, it was very, very, very competitive. Like extremely competitive between the top teams to the point where, and I think some players said it as well, that like you'd have literally all the players, like the Chelsea people would sit together, Liverpool players would sit together, United players would sit together. There was no like integration, which I think is what Southgate's trying to do, bringing these youngsters through, because all like nowadays, all the young ballers, they're all mates with each other, whether they're Arsenal, Spurs, whether they're like Man United, Liverpool, like they're boys together. There's not this rivalry that there was like 10 years ago. So I think that they're able to integrate a lot better compared to when like Gerrard and Lampard, if Liverpool and Chelsea were like competing for Champions League spot titles, whatever, then I think it was a lot. They clashed a lot more on the pitch than what players do now.
There's lots of differences, bro. Like even football now, it's more system based, isn't it? If you look at the English players now, they're more used to playing in a fluid system. Most of them can play in several positions, especially our attackers. You look at Rashford, Sterling, Sancho, they can all play anywhere across the front line. Do you know what I mean? Like it's easier to kind of do that. Back in the day, things were a lot more rigid. Like Gerrard and Lampard even as well. I think there was definitely ego in there as well, because Steven Gerrard, by far the better, more complete player. Gerrard needed to understand that he couldn't do Liverpool Gerrard for England if Lampard played. He needed to understand that maybe, you know what, Lampard ain't got the athleticism as you. Lampard scores more goals than you. Let Lampard go forward and you drop deep. You both don't need to attack at the same time. And it was kind of like, well, I'm Steven Gerrard. I do it for Liverpool. Do you know what I mean?
I don't think England chose a coach that worked that out.
I genuinely believe as a footballer, when you're Steven Gerrard, you have the intelligence, to know that, you know what, Lampard ain't got the legs to cover me, so I'm going to cover him. You know them ones. Like, I don't think Pogba wants to play as a number 6 for Man United. He doesn't want to play that deep for France either, but he understands we got Griezmann, we got Mbappe, and that, listen, I'm going to have to drop a bit deeper, even though I do want to run forward and do step overs. Probably not going to win the World Cup if we do that. Do you know what I mean? And it's just one of them ones where, bro, like sometimes you got to take the initiative as a footballer and just say, you know what, me and Lampard have two very different qualities. I'm the better all-round player. I need to sacrifice myself for England. I just think that club football was more important than international football for these guys. And that's why they didn't really give a toss, innit?
Yeah.
Like, there's nothing wrong with that. But I honestly think that that's what it was.
And I tell you what, when you speak to like international players as well, like I know for like obviously the Argentinian boys were asked, like they're proud to go back and play for their country. Like because they're all playing in Europe, and then they just kind of all come back together to their country. I think there's more like unity in that. Whereas obviously because all of our players are playing in this country and already here, it's a little bit of a different vibe. You're not like necessarily going back home to then like play for your country. You're kind of already here. You're always here. It's not. I feel like they kind of, in a way, take it for granted a little bit because of the fact that they're just always balling in this country.
It's a lot more tribal in this country and territorial as well, bro. Do you know what I mean? Even with like the southern players, the northern players, do you know what I mean? Whereas when you look at the Brazilians or whatever, bro, like they sing their heart out when that national anthem goes on, bro. With England, it's all like, oh yeah, cool, innit?
I don't think half of them know the words.
They don't care, bro. It's always been like that, innit? Like the same pride that a lot of these other guys get playing for their country, you simply do not see it in England, and you've never really seen it. Do you know what I mean? And that's culturally through generations and stuff like that. Playing for your country means more to a lot of these other teams, and that's why they raise it as well. Like you play up against these smaller, like we play against teams, and be like, oh, it's only Colombia and that 2-2, you're 2-0 down to Colombia, fam. They're running there.
Even Iceland in the Euros. Like look how that turned out.
Yeah.
Every Icelandic person, as soon as that national anthem hit, they activated, bruv. You know them ones. And the England players thought, oh, we're England, we'll just turn up and roll them over. Nah, fam. Do you know what I mean? It's not that, bro. So I honestly think that there's loads of different factors as to why these guys didn't do it. But generally, I think the pride thing goes a long way, bruv. I just genuinely think they didn't care as much.
Yeah.
It's an interesting debate, bruv. They'll never admit it, though. They'll never admit it if you ask them anyway. Do you know what I mean? Like, a lot of them have alluded to the fact that there was division because of club football and this, that, and the other. But I honestly think they didn't give a shit. Really. You know what I'm saying? And in football, you'll start to notice, the fact that the only people that really, really give a shit all the time, innit?
I think that was kind of...
You get catch out, man, at that level. If you're not 100% motivated and unity, team, like you talk about the Icelands and the Colombians and the Norwegians and Swedes of the past, what they had was total unity and passion for their country at all times. And you're right, Rants is right. Some of these players didn't have that. And that's why we always fell just short in certain situations, because that's that 5% you need to get you over the line. Like almost like Liverpool, again, sorry to bring it back to the champions, you get me? But I'm gonna. I had to drop champions just in there. Like. Sorry to come back to the champions, but where we lack certain skills to FIFA boys, right, and girls, we had that in team spirit and abundance and unity. We had that, and you can't buy that. How many times have sort of City fallen behind and not been able to come back? You can't buy that mentality. You can't. Yeah. It has to be from the manager, and it has to sort of go into the players absolutely naturally. They can't just sort of, you can't just bring it out now and again. It has to be inside you all the time. And he's right. Rants is right. Some of the England players didn't have that, and that's why, as talented as some of them teams were of the past, what did they do?
Yeah, the thing is that comment you just brought up as well, I think is exactly what I was going to say. I think it's to do with that a lot of the fans are the same. I feel like a lot of fans, it's very much like club football is like the thing. And when it comes to, especially with more of the top teams in the country, like if I don't know how many times you've been to like obviously like the England games, especially like going away, almost every single one there is from like a League One, League Two fan. And it's like I feel like the higher your team is, kind of thing in the leagues, you don't seem to care as much about the national team in this country, which is what's different to a lot of other countries around the world. Which is going back to that,
that's a very fair point. And I don't know what. I'm sure there's many reasons for that. There's many reasons for that. I think the size of our clubs, we've got the biggest clubs in the world, innit? Like we've got the most supported football clubs on the planet, innit? And that goes back from generations, etc., the empires and all that crap, innit? And the way people look at us. So the size of our clubs, if you support one of them big clubs, does it really get any bigger than that? Not really, innit?
No.
Do you know what I mean? It's just
I'll give you the reasons on that, because for us, a team that was banging around in the Championship for ages, we didn't like the international break because it broke up our fixtures. But when you see those England flag supporters, like as George said, it's usually like Hartlepool on those England flags, Hartlepool, Torquay, Whites. it's all those clubs that have got really nothing to play for, and England is their chance to support something bigger than their team. So that's why it's usually loads of those clubs that go out there, and you'll see that's why there's loads of those that support them. But Gareth Southgate has done all right so far, right? But he's almost fallen into that trap of other England managers where they just pick their boys, because he's come out recently and said that Jordan Pickford is still his number one. How?
Yeah, it shouldn't be. It shouldn't.
When you've got Dealerson and Nick Pope, you can't say stuff like that. Yeah.
No, but you know what? To be fair to him, I think he has to say that publicly. Yeah, like I think he has to say that publicly, but I think that it'll drop him in it. Like the thing is with Southgate, he has players he likes, innit? He likes Fabian Delph. He's always liked him. He liked Andros Townsend because he managed a lot of these guys at like youth level and that. I think he's got a soft spot for certain guys. Like even Mason
I think he
Mount,
likes Jesse Lingard a bit too much.
Yeah, he likes Jesse Lingard again. Mason Mount, Mason Mount was ahead of Maddison for a while.
Yeah,
even when Maddison was playing, it didn't make sense to me. You know what I mean? It made no sense whatsoever.
I'm not even being funny. I'm not being funny. Like overall, Dele Alli, even though he's had a terrible season, has had a better season than Maddison. If we like, even if you're looking at like stats, everything, he's had like overall across the whole thing, he's had a better season. But
he shouldn't even be anywhere near it.
Yeah, but that's what I mean. Like he clearly has favourites.
Yeah, he does absolutely. I think every manager has that. But before you wrap up, what are your thoughts on Southgate? Because honestly, I like him, innit? Like I've been getting a lot of stick for it. People are like, nah, we can do better than Southgate. But I just think it's an England national team.
But where though?
I honestly think our fans overrate our players.
Yes.
Nah, bro, like just try to weaken Leeds United and that. But like honestly, when I look at England, I see England as like the Premier League equivalent to like, I wouldn't even say at Everton, bro. Like we're mid-table, international team. That's what we are. Like a lot of people look at England and say, "Oh, we've got this, that, and yeah, they're only good in our league, bro." Do you know what I mean? Like a lot of English fans have this arrogance. They want to call every league a farmers' league, bro. But then we play them in Europe and they spin us,
and they smash us. Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like, what is wrong with you people? You know what I mean? It just doesn't make sense whatsoever. Like when I look at all of these players, they're like the Harry Maguires and that, bro. Bruv, them on the international stage, these men are relegation fodder, bro. Like that's what they are. Like you go and you'll play up against like a centre-back playing for Ecuador that's better than man. Do you know what I'm saying? Like that's honestly what it is. It's like a lot of these guys don't understand that levels in international football is just different, innit? Like the guys that we rate as the top-notch guys that we see week in, week out, there's geezers playing for Switzerland and that are just as good. There's geezers that are playing for flipping any South American random country that are just as good, just because they're not household names yet. Do you know what I mean? Look what James Rodriguez done at the World Cup, then got to move to Europe. Before that, no one went really chatting about him like that. All of a sudden, bruv, off the crossbar, Real Madrid move. Do you know what I'm saying? And that's what it is. A lot of the time, these guys, like, they overestimate how good some of these players that we've got are. And
do you know what?
It's just out of ignorance.
Do you know what I think? I think England, right? I don't know if Gareth Southgate is the man for it for the next 4 or 5 years, but I think England have got some serious talent coming through. I get exactly what you're saying of the past, but again, this is like the rebirth of the golden generation. You know, Beckham, Scholes, Lampard, Gerrard, them man, Rio, Terry, It's not the defensive side ain't there, bar Joe Gomez, but the rest of the forwards like man like Sancho, Sterling, Foden.
This guy said our favourites to win the Euros. How, blood, when France won the World Cup?
Man. No.
France, Belgium.
These men are crazy, blood. These men are crazy. France, Belgium, bruv. I wouldn't even back us against Holland. You know the ones that's like.
Tell you what, even Spain have got some good youngsters coming through as well to change their team up, and Italy. I think almost every major European country is on a rebuild right now. Italy's got some madness.
Germany as well, blood. These men are always there or thereabouts. These guys,
always,
yeah.
Germany will put up a bunch of no names and still get to the quarters, bruv. That's what they do, innit?
Yeah.
So all of the time, these guys are just overlooking people. And you see the thing with international football, a lot of the time, because these managers don't have a lot of time with these players, it comes down to the individual quality of these players and how intelligent they are. Because a lot of the time, these players need to work it out for themselves, bro.
Yeah.
They need to work it out for themselves. You're in a game now, bruv. Work it out, mate. Do you know what I mean? The Italians are very tactically astute, bruv. That's why they always do well in knockout competitions. It doesn't matter who's managing them. Doesn't really
It's
matter.
because it's the same throughout the country with Italian players. It's always that defensive mindset, and they've because one of my mates was from Italy and played in the youth and stuff like that, and he said it's like from young, it's like drilled into them how to play like the Italian way, so to speak, which we don't have anymore in England because we've now got the Spanish way, we've got the Pep way, we've got the Bielsa way, we've got we don't have like an English way anymore. So it's a bit, you're right, it's a bit more different in terms of like players having to work it out for themselves.
Yeah, what you got to remember as well with fans over here, and what I find it a lot on social media is that a lot of people don't watch football outside their own club, never mind league. So they don't know what other players are about. They just think we've got Rashford or these guys. They think, well, these guys are good enough to win something. They don't know what's going on in other countries. They just don't.
But this is the problem, bro. Like the man saying England have got like great attackers, yeah, but don't have a great goalkeeper and a great defense, bro. And they don't particularly have a great midfield either, bro. Do you know what I mean? Man are getting excited about England because of Sancho, Rashford, Kane, Sterling, yeah. But what about the rest of the team, bro? Like, because in the midfield, yeah, what? Our best central midfielder is Jordan Henderson, bro.
Yeah,
Calvin Phillips.
But come on, you need to get the squad first. But I mean, Jordan Henderson, yeah, is our best midfielder, bro. And we've all agreed, yeah, that he's not the greatest. So if he's our best central midfielder, yeah, what does that say about the options we have? And then when you look at the defense, Harry Maguire is our best centre back, and so that tells you the level that we're dealing with right now. Do you know what I'm saying?
I wonder what the team's actually going to be, because that midfield is like, at the moment, it's looking like, I don't know, Henderson, Grealish, and Winks, or Mount.
You can have Rice in there too. Rice.
You have to play
Rice.
Declan, bruv.
Rice is there, yeah, 100%.
I'd play Declan and Jordan centre mid, and I'd probably go with a 3 at the back. I think England are going to do that because we're not good enough to play 3 in midfield because our defenders are crap. We're going to have to go with a 5 at the back.
Do you think he's going to stick Wan-Bissaka as like a right centre back, and then have Trent right wing back?
I would try it to see how it went. However, like, it's one of them ones where he likes, I don't know, brother. He definitely likes Harry Maguire in a 3.
He definitely likes Joe Gomez in a 3 as well.
He likes
so you're looking at Gomez, Maguire, Stones. Is that what we're looking at right now?
No, not Stones. You know who you should replace Stones with? O'Connell from Sheffield United. He's way better on the ball than John Stones.
He's used to playing in the 3 as well, so he would slot in there nicely.
I think Tanganga's in with a shout after we see one next year. Don't watch him. Tanganga's a future England star at centre back, because he can play left back, centre back, right back, all of them.
A few people have said that in the comments as well, Tanganga. So it's one of them ones.
Trust me, he is an absolute baller and just signed a new deal as well. I'm excited to see what he can do.
But that's what I'm saying. So when you look at England in terms of balance, yeah, bro, that team ain't good, man. Like, get out of town, bro. It's got a decent attack. You need to get them the ball first, and you also need to keep the ball out of your own net. Do you know what I mean? And if you got T-Rex in goal, you know what I mean? It's
Chelsea and United. The England team does. It reminds me of Chelsea and United.
It is. It's true. Like, you know what I mean? They're frightened if they get the ball in the attacking third, but there's still 2 other thirds to worry about. So when these men are talking about England being the favourites, when France have got 4 players,
I don't think we're not even close.
Bro, England aren't even in the top 8. Do you know what I'm saying? In Europe, let alone in the world. Like, man, need to stop that. So when I say that England are a mid-table international team, I mean it, bro. Like, these men are seeing guys and they're getting carried away, bro. Let's not do that. Do you know what I mean? You got to understand there's levels in football, bro. And just because you see something, it don't mean it's not happening, innit? Like, there's ballers everywhere. And I wouldn't back England against the top nations in Europe, like, in a game that means something as well. I'm not talking about these stupid throwaway friendlies. Do you know what I mean? Where they're rotating players. Like, best player versus best player. I'm not backing England against Belgium. I'm not backing them against Spain. I'm not backing them against France, Italy, Germany. I probably wouldn't even back them. I'm not even sure about
Netherlands.
Portugal.
Netherlands got a better team.
The Netherlands as well. And even though Portugal an aging team, bruv, like, in international football just suits these guys, bro. They're technically and tactically very good. That's already 7 teams that we've named ahead of England, bro. And then you'll obviously get your dark horses that can come out of nowhere, like your Croatias and that might be able to do you something. Do you know what I mean? So you have to be honest with yourself when you're talking about these players, like the likes of the Grealishes, the Rices. They're good footballers, but on the international stage, are they international top level? Absolutely not. Do you know what I mean? This guy's in England are top 5 in Europe. No chance, my guy.
Oh, that's only off of the rankings, and that's absolutely nothing to go by in terms of how good of a nation it is. Like, that's just a terrible indicator. Well, because we got to the semis of a World Cup. I mean, great. We didn't even get third place. Like, it was.
But this is it, innit? So we have to be honest about the level of football, innit? And I think that people need to start watching more football. It's the only way to.
Yeah.
And just remember as well who was in that group, who was in that World Cup group as well. It was atrocious. It was no big hitters. They did what they had to do.
Yeah, absolutely. The first opportunity we got to really play a decent team, we bottled it. If we're honest.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that's just how it is, man. But you lot, big up for watching. Make sure you slap the like button. Make sure you follow the boys as well, man. It's good to have you guys on, man.
Yeah, it was a good little chat. I enjoyed that.
Good little chat as well. But there's loads of people in the group chat, man. It's always active in here. Do you know what I'm saying? So, no, I mean, we'll definitely do it again, man. But you lot, make sure you slap that like before you leave, man. Make sure new mods as well. Like, you did better today still. Because I had the mods on probation, fam. I'm telling you. I had the mods on probation because they were sleeping, bro. I started seeing some donuts slipping through the crack. But you man done good today. You man done good today. So big up yourselves, man. Do you know what I mean? And we'll catch you next time.